Hi, it's Tina today, and my tutorial today is my monthly series, A Blank Canvas. I will walk you through how to create a mixed media layout starting with a blank chipboard canvas. So I actually took my canvas, I pre-gessoed my canvas, and I used modeling paste with one of my stencils, and I did that before I started here. So then the first thing I did was take some of the big brush pens that were in the September kit, and you see me just randomly marking up the background of my chipboard piece, and then just taking water and using it kind of like a watercolor paint. I wasn't really sure it would work, and it actually worked really well, and I really liked the look of it. So you can just see me randomly adding color to the background and then taking water and blending that ink out. So it's nice. These Faber-Castell big brush pens are awesome for that. So you can see me using some of the pink. You can see where it looks a little weird there on the background. It's because when I gessoed my chipboard, when I gesso it, I'm not real picky about the background, so it kind of goes where it goes. So the areas that look a little bit different in coloration just means there was actually no gesso there. But again, to me, that adds texture and interest to the background. So that's why the background looks a little different on that right side. So just adding the different colors, and when the pink and the blue mix, obviously purple's created. So in several areas, I'm blending the two colors together with the water. So you can see that created like the beginnings of a background, and it was super easy to do. So now what I'm actually doing, as that's drying, I was going to take the star stamp that was included in the kit, and I'm going to emboss it. I have some neon embossing powder, and I thought it'd be great to pull it out. It was from my stash. I pulled it out because I thought it would be a fun embellishment for my page. So you can see me just embossing several different shapes there with embossing ink. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the embossing powder to those stars. And I do that with several different colors. I have, you can see, a whole broad range of embossing powders, so I did that with several of them. And then now what I'm doing to add, building up the layers, building up the colors, I took the paint chips that were included in the kit and just cut strips out of them. You would notice there's not an orange one in the kit, so I had the color ink that I had in my kit was orange, so I just flipped the card over and used the orange ink to the background of it. So now what I'm doing is taking the big brush pen again, and I just wiped it on my craft mat. You saw me do that, and then I sprayed water on it, and I'm just splattering some of that color to the background, and you can see the pink there. I do it, actually, I don't show it in the video, but I do it with the blue and the orange as well, just to add more interest to the background. So now I'm doing the same thing, but I'm using the white spray mist that was included in the kit, again, just to add some more interest to the background. And you can see this is super easy to do, but you create a background that's unique and different every single time. So now what I'm doing, I used the fragments that were included in the kit, and I thought it would be an interesting way to use them. I wanted to create my own embellishments. So I had a bunch of these wooden veneer pieces from Studio Calico laying around. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is take white embossing powder, so you can see me applying the embossing ink to the wooden piece. And I'm going to go ahead and put some white embossing powder on it. And again, the white embossing powder was in my stash. I'm just pushing off the excess right now. So what I'm going to do is take the blue fragments that were included in the kit, and I'm going to just take a pinch of them, and you can see me crunching them up in the palm of my hand. I just wanted some smaller pieces for it, and then I'm sprinkling them right on top of the white embossing powder. And I did this before I melted the embossing powder. So I'm just going to use my heat tool, and I'm going to go ahead and melt that down. Then what I wanted to do, I wanted a little bit more thickness and a little more shine, so I'm going to put some more embossing ink to the top of it, and I'm going to put some of the UTE ultra thick embossing powder to the top of it, and it created a really thick layer, a really shiny layer to the top of the wooden bubble. And that is it after it melted, and you can see it created a really fun embellishment. And I did that with several of them for my finished layout. So these are the different stars that I created with the embossing powder. And now what I'm going to do, I kind of wanted a similar look as I did with the bubbles, with the real thick shininess. So I'm applying the embossing ink to the top of each one of my flower or stars, and I'm applying that double thick embossing powder to it. And you can see me doing that there. So it created a more substantial star. So I went ahead and melted it with my heat tool, and that's them completed. So now what I'm going to start doing, I'm just adding some finishing touches before I start building my layout. And you can see I wanted a little bit more orange, so I'm doing a similar technique. I'm just applying the ink right to the background, and I'm using water to blend it into the background a little bit more. So now I'm just going to start assembling my layout, and these were just words that I stamped with a stamp that I had just on some of the paper that was included in the kit. And you can see 3 of those bubbles that I created with that embossing technique with the fragments. And then the wood alphas were in my kit. I just painted them the same color as the wood or as the blue fragments in the kit. So you can just see me assembling my layout here with my title and with some of the words. And now I'm just going to start placing the stars where I want them. I created 3 different colors, and again, I kind of went with that whole neon theme, and my background was the oranges and the purples and the pinks and the blues. So I used that as the same color on the stars that I created. And now I'm going to go ahead and, once I'm happy with how they're placed, I go ahead and just glue them down. I just used wet adhesive to glue each one of them down. And then I also glued the wooden bubble pieces down to my layout as well. And then as a finishing touch, I thought it would be fun to take the paper pin that was included in the kit, and I put the fine tip on it, and I'm just putting dots on all 4 sides of my layout. And I don't show it in the video, but I wanted more of a border around the outside of my layout, so I took my pen, and you could have done it with this paper pen as well, but I just took my doodling pen and just loosely doodled around the outside of the layout too, and it really drew everything in, and it really finished off my layout. But that was it. It was a really fast, a super fun layout, and you could do that with anything and create a different look each time. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial today, and I hope you join me next month for my series of blank canvas. Thank you.